lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic Brahman emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and Master of devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us, and give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three walls, and we take shelter at your lotus feet.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Namaste
Jai
She's here. She said she will come. Govinda.
The kirtan was not so long. That's good.
Sorry, got the class starting at 8. It seems to be early.
I believe that every endeavor aimed at glorifying the Lord in the Bhagavatam is auspicious, so like the moon, so let's overlook the spots. Very kind. So today we're reading, okay, let's pray to the Bhagavatam first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th Canto, Chapter 14, verses 4 to 6. So I'll read 4, 5, and this is 6. Okay. 4. Soya Jadraja Soyena Vijitya Bhuvanatrayam Patnim Brihaspati Darpat Taram Nama Harad Balat. After conquering the 3 worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems, Soma, the moon god, performed a great sacrifice known as the Rajasuya Yagya. Because he was very much puffed up, he forcibly kidnapped Brihaspati's wife, whose name was Tara. Yada Sadeva Guruna Yachito Vikshna Madat Natya Jatat Krite Jagye Suradanava Vigraha. Although requested again and again by Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, Soma did not return Tara. This was due to his false pride. Consequently, a fight ensued between the demigods and the demons. Verse 6. Please repeat. Shukro Brihaspatir Dvesha Agrahit sanurodupam Haro guru sutam snehat Sarva bhuta ganavita Shukro vrihaspatir dveshad Agrahit sasurudupam Haro guru sutam snehat Sarva bhuta ganavita Prabhupada.
Shukro Vrihaspatir Dveshat Agrahit Sasurudupam Haro guru sutam snehat Sarva bhuta ganavita
Shukro Vrihaspatir Dveshat Agrahit Sasurudupam Haro guru sutam snehat Sarva bhuta ganavita Shukro Vrihaspatir Dveshat Agrahit Sasurudupam Haro guru sutam snehat Sarva bhuta ganavita Shukro Vrihaspatir Dveshat Agrahit Sasurudupam Haro guru sutam snehat Sarva bhuta ganavita
Thank you. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Because of enmity between Brihaspati and Shukra took the side of the moon god and was joined by the demons. But Lord Shiva, because of affection for the son of his spiritual master, joined the side of Brihaspati and was accompanied by all the ghosts and hobgoblins. Purport. The moon god is one of the demigods, but to fight against the other demigods, he took the assistance of the demons. Shukra, being enemy of Brihaspati, also joined the moon god to retaliate in wrath against Brihaspati. To counteract the situation, Lord Shiva, who was affectionate toward Brihaspati, joined Brihaspati. The father of Brihaspati was Angira, from whom Lord Shiva had received knowledge. Therefore Lord Shiva had some affection for Brihaspati and joined his side in the spite. Sridhar Swami remarks, Angirasa sakashat prapto vidyo hara iti prasiddha. Lord Shiva is well known to have received knowledge from Angira. You'd like to repeat the translation?
Yes.
Because of enmity.
Because of enmity.
I just realized you didn't repeat the words. Sorry. That's the word for word. Shukra. The demigod named Shukra. Brihaspati. Unto Brihaspati. Dveshat. Because of enmity. Agrahit. Took. Sasura. With the demons. Udupam. The side of the moon god. Hara. Lord Shiva. Guru Sutam. The side of his spiritual master's son. Snehat. Because of affection. Sarva Bhuta. Ganavrita. Accompanied by all kinds of ghosts and hobgoblins. Translation. Because of enmity between Brihaspati and Shukra, Shukra took the side of the moon god and was joined by the demons. But Lord Shiva, because of affection for the son,
because of affection for the son
of his spiritual master,
of his spiritual master,
joined the side of Brihaspati,
joined the side of Vallahba,
and was accompanied
and was accompanied
by all the ghosts
by all the ghosts
and hobgoblins.
and hobgoblins.
Om Gyanativrandhasya Kinanjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyapadi Paschatya Veshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shriman Rasa Rasarambhir Vamsi Patatata Karshambenu Sanir Gopir Gopinatha Shreshtunaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tishe Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I was thinking to start from the first verse of the section, verse 4, 5, and 6. So what's happening here? We are discussing now the act, the first movement of the story, because the first verses we heard yesterday were just like a background setting of the story, but now the story it's going on, and it's like there's fire in the heavenly planets. It's not only on Earth that things go wrong and things go really wrong. You know, this went really bad. But it's, even though it seems to be, you know, it is, how do you call, irreligious and not recommended, but ultimately it's all part of Lord's arrangement, everything that happens. And after all, this is the dynasty of Krishna, so it's glorious. Krishna is just, his appearance in the dynasty purifies the whole dynasty of whatever, you know, glitches can be there. And this is so important actually what happened here, because by the interaction of Soma and Tara, Buddha was born. Buddha is the Mercury. So that's very important, you know, for him to appear. Mercury rules intelligence and abilities and speech and all other kinds of faculties of the people. So it's hard to see sometimes how Krishna's plan unfolds. This is an interesting example of that. Oh, what comes out here from this, the beginning of this? It's how do you call it? The audacity that the moon god had because of his position. After conquering the three worlds, that's not a small thing, upper, middle, and lower, Soma, the moon god, performed a great sacrifice known as the Rajasuya Yagya. Because he was very much puffed up, he forcibly kidnapped Brihaspati's wife, whose name was Tara. So, when Brihaspati is the guru of all the demigods and his own guru, and that's one of the main, how do you call it, the most sinful, one of the most, the most sinful acts is to steal with the spiritual master's wife. That's like the greatest sin. But he's by nature good. Like the demigods, why are they demigods? It's because they have that quality that purity. But even them, can become overwhelmed. Actually, I think I heard Prabhupada say this, or the Bhakti Maharaj, that the demigods are Kanishta Adhikaris, neophyte devotees. They have faith in Krishna, and of course they are very pious, but they're not progressing like we can progress here on earth, become Madhyama and Uttamadhikari. Because of position, opulence, it's very hard for them to progress in devotional service. So you see repeatedly, there's so many fall downs because it's too much enjoyment in the heavenly planets. So we are more fortunate to be able to focus here. So about this, being puffed up, by being proud, by his position, he became proud, and that blinded him. Though another word for pride in Sanskrit is mada, which also means madness. Interesting, no? So there are three kinds of blindness, and there can be blindness by birth. Who's an example of that in the scripture? Dhritarashtra. And blindness by lust. Oh, Mahabharata is on, yeah. Also Ajamil. Yeah, so many others, And now blindness by pride. Who's the most famous? And Lord Indra. This is like a constant thing, doesn't really catch the lesson somehow. But yeah, and many of us also struggle with this. So Soma, he's falling into this situation with a mixture of lust and pride, but especially pride. And this reminds me of a retreat I heard about Akrura's journey to Vrindavan. And I'm also reading, I just read this in the 10th canto, like 2 weeks ago. When Akrura came to Vrindavan, as soon as he arrived, he just jumped off his chariot and he rolled on the ground. And as soon as he saw the footprints of Krishna, he became in complete ecstasy. And he says that at that moment, he gave up all fear, lamentation, and pride. 3 things. And if you think about it, actually these 3 things are like 3 states of being. If you think, for example, fear is it's in the future. It's a fear that something will happen. So it's like the future tense. Lamentation is the past. Why this, that. So that's lamentation. And pride, what is pride? Pride fits into the present. It's a constant thing. And it's a state of illusion. So Akrura, to enter Vrindavan, or anyone following the footsteps of Akrura, we should give up all these things. All illusion in all 3 phases of time. Past, present, and future. And an interesting thing is that in the spiritual world, there's no past or future. It's only present, eternally. So actually, by focusing in being the present, and being real about our position, we're actually practicing our natural constitutional position to be eternally present with Krishna, in reality. And what do you think, what is the best way to practice that? To be in the present, in reality, with Krishna. Yes, chanting japa, especially, because japa is the real deal, In japa, it's amazing. There's so many things that we can, achieve or develop by chanting proper rounds. One thing which is a great remedy. Japa is a service that nobody can see. It's a service that doesn't give you any position. It's a service that, it's not for anyone's eyes except Krishna's eyes. And nobody knows except you how it goes. So there's no fear of falling into puffed upness by chanting good japa. And the other thing is that you're trying to be present with Krishna at every moment. And that is something extremely hard for us in general. In general, the material world, to be present is hard. That's why people are usually depressed and in anxiety and tension, because they're living in the future and in the past. But to be in the present is That's why people do meditation now. They're just trying to breathe and forget about everything. But that's still incomplete, you know. They're removing the suffering and coming to zero, and they feel like, wow, this is amazing. It is. To be free from suffering is amazing, but then it just go back to that. They don't have any other, any other options. But devotional service is like a positive thing. Okay, you don't do this. Wow, relief. But what do? Then devotional service. You serve Krishna, so that's a plus. Many times actually, I give this example to people who do vipassana, you know, and all the kinds of meditation, and because they're like, oh, what's the difference? You chant Hare Krishna, do this, like, why is this anyone better than the other, or was it? And I just explain, you know, you guys are just finishing the suffering, we are adding bliss. So devotees, they don't just want to be peaceful, free from suffering, they want to be blissful. They want to have something more than just peace, you know. So Krishna consciousness is that positive activity that we're bringing in. So by chanting, by purifying, perfecting, focusing in our chanting, being with Krishna in humility, you know, humility means vision of reality, and pride is illusion. So humility will be, I am an eternal spiritual soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is my eternal master, he's all powerful and he's all merciful. And we have a relationship, an eternal relationship. And then chanting. That's like 100%, 108% perfect, present, eternal. And that practice is so amazing because just by practicing being this consciousness in the present with Krishna, in japa, you can apply this to any other service. When you're in the pujari, when you're cooking, then you're also going to be, you can allow your mind to be trained to be, okay, I am this, who am I? Who is Krishna? What am I doing? And just be there, absorbed. So by absorption, chanting is everything. I think Radhananda Maharaj, he's my parents' spiritual master, he says, you are as good as your japa. You can only be as good as your japa. And chanting japa is like 90% of your devotional service. And people are like, what? I'm doing service all day and my japa is everywhere. And you feel like my japa is like a little bit, I'm doing so much more. Yes, maybe time-wise, but quality-wise, your job is 90% of your devotional service. So then, I just think about Indra and his blindness of pride. You know, it's so amazing. Like, just imagine, Indra is a devotee. It's not like he's just a random person who, just happens to be inimical sometimes. And imagine the lila of Govinda. Indra was so disturbed, was so covered by pride, that he wanted to kill the Brajabasis. He was so fixed in destroying Vrindavan and destroying Krishna's parents. It's unbelievable. That's how much we can be covered by pride. And actually, that's why we should be careful when we, take positions, even in devotional service. Because you should understand that, okay, now you're coming into, a sensitive situation, because you already have these issues in our heart, Ishvara Bhav, trying to control, trying to enjoy. That's why we came here. And then all of a sudden you have that position externally too. And how are you going to deal with it? So it's actually much better for us to develop ourselves, think about, when you want to change things around ISKCON, around the temple, around the devotee, whatever, you're like, oh, if I have this position, then I could change. If I could do this, then people would listen to me and I could make so much better. Of course, the intention is good, but why you who have this amazing vision is not getting that position? Maybe because you're not ready to get the position. Krishna is more concerned about your personal purification than, specific services that you can do. Maybe you're not ready for the service, and you can see demigods, even though they're so qualified, they're still now and again, overcome by pride of their position. So think about Indra. I was just looking in Gopal Champu. It's a wonderful book by Jiva Goswami, which is a detailed explanation of the pastimes of Krishna from the 10th canto. So I just also wanted to read what Indra said when he was going to attack Braj. How could he? Anyways, 317. Okay. No problem. I'll keep this part for later. Because I also want to say how Indra was forgiven. So maybe that's more interesting. So when Krishna actually destroyed Indra's pride by lifting Govardhan, what happened? Criticizing himself, lamenting in 100 ways, without being proud of riding on his airplane, Indra went to his room to sleep in a repentant mood and experienced hell, since Nilaya, which means room, became Niraya, which means hell. The 8 grammarians explain that I can be replaced with R. In desiring to destroy Vraja by wind, Indra committed injury to himself. By desiring to give pain to Vraja with showers of water, he created pain in his own heart. By desiring to strike Vraja with thunderbolts, he beat his own head. He tried to disturb the devotees and gained the opposite result. So it's never a good idea to try to become the devotees. No, devotees are so simple, sweet, calm, unassuming, and sometimes even people who are evil-minded, they take advantage of that. They feel like, oh, this is somebody that I can attack, a bully. But they have no idea who they're dealing with. Devotees are sweet and humble, but they have Krishna on their side, and Krishna is all powerful. Just like the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna said, you want for Duryodhana and Arjuna, somebody will take my army, somebody will take me. Duryodhana is like, of course I'll take the army. Krishna is like, of course. Arjuna is like, of course I'll take Krishna. And we see that also the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj. Durvasa Muni was so angry and wanted to curse him. And immediately Sudarshana Chakra was running after him. And he went to everyone to save himself from Sudarshana Chakra. He went to Shiva. Shiva was like, I cannot do anything, it's Vishnu's chakra. He went to Brahma. And Brahma said, I'm sorry, I cannot do anything. This is Vishnu's chakra. And he kept on running throughout the planetary systems, and then he came to Vishnu, please save me. And he's like, I cannot do anything. You see, and Krishna has a very nice verse in that point. Very nice, he says something very nice. He says, I am not at all independent. I'm fully dependent on my devotees' will. And that's a wonderful thing. You have to go to Ambarish. And so he goes all the way up to Vishnu, and he comes all the way down and said, please forgive me. And then Sudarshana stops. So the devotees are very powerful. And then the next verse, verse 5, is saying, although requested again and again by Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, Suma did not return Tara. This was due to his false pride. Consequently, a fight ensued between the demigods and the demons. And you can think like, what happened actually? Even though the moon god had such a high position as the control of the 3 worlds, how the demons and demigods took sides was not at all based on his position. Shukra took his side because he didn't like Brihaspati. And Shiva took the side of Brihaspati because he liked Brihaspati, because he was the son of his own spiritual master, Gira Muni. So then actually, if you understand, more important than looking for position is building friend relationships. Because based on relationships that they took their sides. Relationships is so important. And it's much easier to develop relationships when you don't have position. Because people are not then concerned or don't take that into account. Because you don't have, so it's just about, okay, who are you? What do you need? And what are your qualities, your desires? And it's easier, it's easier ground to develop friendship, to to be simple. So that was an interesting point that I saw. And then thinking about quarrels, this is actually a quarrel among the demigods, right? And then the demons just showed up because it's a quarrel. Demons like quarrel. So what you can see, something Prabhupada said in relation to this, is that our movement cannot be destroyed from outside, only from the inside. So you see, when the devotees start fighting, then there's a problem. Then things can get serious, like this, celestial war, or in ISKCON or any other institution. So the devotees we need to work, try to cooperate and help each other, understand each other. And Prabhupada said that you prove your love to me by cooperating. So that's a huge task that we all have. Because as soon as we quarrel, fight, then creates offenses, and that's the only thing that can, attack the creeper of bhakti, nothing else. Just Vaishnava apparat specifically, and exclusively. And with quarrel, what comes with quarrel? Kali. Kali, the age of Kali, but also the personality of Kali is also personified. And Kali is hypocrisy and quarrel. That is this age. So as soon as we allow fights to happen, then Kali comes in, and then all other sinful activities can come. So it's actually a very dangerous venue. So we should protect ourselves, like we see the demigods are doing. I have little notes, I'm just looking them. Any comments or questions? Please be free to say yes. Thank you.
I was thinking when you say position, you can see actually really nature of a person when he get position, because
The nature
of the person when he get position, because then you can see how he deal with other people, which the relationships built by position. This is very dangerous to do a Vaishnava Parada, because if you consider someone better and having a nice relationship with a person who have position, and if a person have no position on the other side and you disrespect this person because of this, Krishna don't like it. And Kali, like you say, Kali can easily come into the holes and destroy actually all relationships, because having position means being more humble. I mean, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, if you have some position, if you are a leader, you should be more humble than all of others. Because you should support others, you should serve others more than before, and you should give respect and understand if a person have a problem in devotional service, I should make everything and what is possible that this person can develop in his spiritual life, and not opposite. So it's so important that when we are having position, we take shelter of Krishna and learn how to do with other people, because it's very dangerous, because Krishna likes all the devotees, and if it's a problem, then this person should learn, if it's not learned yet, how to do with others.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. I think in the 7th canto, Narada Muni, he says, what does it mean to be happy in this world? And he says, to respect and serve the seniors, to develop friendship with equals, and to show compassion to juniors. So that is the thing. And thinking about these relationships also, when Krishna is entering Mathura, there's all kinds, I'm just reading about this now, all kinds of relationships manifest. There's a garland maker, there's a tailor, there's all kinds of people. So the garland maker, he makes a beautiful garland for Krishna and Balaram and all his cowherd boys. And Krishna is so happy. And he asks, what blessing do you want? Tell me anything. And he just prays that, I pray that I may have firm attachment to the Lord, and I have friendship with the devotees, and I develop compassion for all the entities. So this is what we're trying to do. But the Kali Yuga, or the material life, is the opposite. We envy the seniors, we compete with the equals, and we exploit the juniors. So it's exactly the opposite. So we need to practice that remedial attitude. And he asked that as a blessing. That means that it was not easy to do. Please bless me that I may be able to behave with everybody like this. So
it's actually both sides. You know, it's not only the position in the position that somebody is in the position of the high position or manager position, but as you say, you know, everybody in Kali Yuga have these tendencies. The tendency is like pervading, and then you know they compete with somebody who is in a position they're envious. So it's very difficult, you know, to actually be in this position. You know,
Yeah.
it's actually from outside. It's also a reflection of our mentality. You know, if we relate to somebody who's in a position in an envious way, so it's also showing our character. It's not just those who are in a position where you know they have a problem with their character. Also those who are in a position of submission.
yeah,
They also have this problem. I mean, it's the challenges for everybody.
yeah, both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, being the follower and yes, completely.
And I was thinking about the hospital. He's the spiritual master of the demigods, and then the monk god is also demigods. Actually, he was his spiritual master.
Yes.
He
His own guru.
yeah. So it's really like a huge
Yes.
big thing.
Yes. And then just thinking about something, I hope I can find it somehow. I cannot see exactly, but about this pastime, I was reading from this book, but somehow I cannot meet my eyes and the person I'm meeting. So when Indra came to beg forgiveness to Surabi, because now, okay, we know we have difficulties, we are fighting sometimes, and it's really bad, and it's very dangerous, okay, but what if we do fall into a situation? How to get forgiven, you know? The Buddhists are by nature very merciful, and we should definitely ask for forgiveness, you know, and always be aware of that. Even like, how do you call Rupa Goswami, wasn't he meditating on Krishna's pastimes, and something happened? Was it that Krishna was Sanatana Goswami?
He was smiling and laughing.
Yes. What was the pastime?
Someone was passing, he was
Yes,
lifting
yes.
his hand.
No, yes. But what was he thinking about?
And it was pastimes with Krishna, and he was smiling.
Yes, yes,
But
we
she
know
wants to
that.
know what was the pastime.
I think it was Krishna was hiding in the tree. Yes, and Jatila came to see, because he came to see Radharani, and Krishna was hiding in the tree. So she came out, and Krishna made like, ooh, ooh, some kind of bird sound. So she's like, okay, there's nobody here, it's just a bird. So then Sanatana Goswami smiled and completely imagined, just imagine, so high. But then this limp devotee passed by and became offended. So yes, that's the situation. And he made a feast, you know, like this. So we should find a means to beg forgiveness. And how Indra got forgiven, it's really interesting, because he went to, I think he went to Shiva first, and Shiva was like, well, you know, in these situations, oh no, sorry, he went to Brihaspati, his spiritual master, and Brihaspati was like, in situations like this, Brihaspati was so disturbed to hear what Indra did. He was like, oh my God, you really did this? He was so embarrassed. And it's like, I think you have to go to Brahma, because only Brahma can solve these things. And it's funny, because here in the situation, guess who solved this problem? Lord Brahma. Because Soma stole the wife of Brihaspati, and then she didn't want to give her back, as you can see. And that's what Brahma was called. Brahma could actually take the wife back to Brihaspati. He did it, only Brahma could do it. And then she was pregnant, and then Brihaspati asked, whose child is it? Is it mine or is it Soma's? She didn't want to say. Didn't want to say. So again, Brahma called Tara, please tell me, become calm, who's the child? And say, okay, this was Soma's child. So Brahma was also called here, so I feel like Brahma is like the one, the ultimate of the demigods. If nothing happens, like just go to Lord Brahma, like the ultimate temple president of the universe. And also, when the earth was being troubled, everybody went to Lord Brahma, and he took all demigods to the Milk Ocean to offer prayers to Krishna to come, Lord Vishnu. So when Indra went to Brihaspati, he said, oh, go to Brahma. And when he went to Brahma, Brahma said, oh, Indra again, So he said, you should go to Krishna and beg for forgiveness. And I think maybe, you see, according to the scriptures, the cows are very dear to Krishna. Maybe you should just serve the cows and get their blessings, and maybe Krishna will forgive you. So he went to Surabhi Loka, which is a planet of the cows only. Not Goloka. This is different. They're not the spiritual cows of Krishna. This is a different planet, only of Surabhi cows. So he went there and he told Surabhi, one of the Surabhis, his story. So Surabhi said, like, let's go to Krishna, So they went together, and Surabhi says it's so beautiful. She's like, just offer your obeisances and ask forgiveness, and admit your fault and like this and everything. And she said, even ordinary people become inclined or compassionate to someone who bows down and prays for forgiveness, or to speak about Krishna, who's the most affectionate, the most merciful Lord. So I thought that was very beautiful. Even ordinary people become lenient towards, such a humble approach. So to speak about Vaishnavas. So definitely the best means to accept forgiveness is to pay your respectful obeisances wholeheartedly to the Vaishnavas. We maybe have offended or something like this. But that was sweet. Yes.
I like it that Lord Brahma, he was maybe upset with himself that he's repeatedly was making that he made such a big mistake. Brahma.
Upset with himself.
It was, that actually he was not, that he made such a mistake to minimize the position of Krishna.
The other person.
Yeah. And then I like it very much that actually he wanted just to give up all position of the heaven, very, very low position. Because sometimes we hear the philosophy, we can really understand it, or sometimes we can be humble because of the pain, which went along with the offense. But the real transformation, in some very powerful medicine, so it's like high-dose having this kind of situation, an external situation that you have to they have nothing to do for the falsehood of the whole one. That's
Brahma became
mind is so strong, mind is so powerful. Very, very powerful.
You see, the moon god is the deity of the mind.
Yeah,
Just think about this. That's interesting, If you imagine if the mind was all that you were, so we can do stuff like this. Yes. Yes.
You can hear about Indra and this Govardhan story mentioned. He was totally smashed, finished, his pride and so on. And then Krishna goes to have many planets with Satyabhama to get the flower, and he says, no, you cannot. It was just a few weeks later. Just, from Indra's time, it was just a few weeks later.
It feels
and it's just, no, who are you? How quickly it goes.
So when we speak about ourselves, the mind is just incredibly insisting, back again and again, without failing.
In Gopal Champu, Indra is saying, oh my God, I took so much intoxication, I've been drinking so much that I've lost my sense of sanity, of intelligence. How can I judge Krishna like this? But he goes and continues drinking again, and then, these things happen. And even Indra, he's just all the time, it is amazing. I think after Krishna, Indra is the most spoken person, the Bhagavatam, because between Mercury and Ila, right? Ila? I think you read yesterday. Ila. Anyways, or Ila. Then came Pururava. And Pururava is the whole pastime is about King Pururava. The chapter is called King Pururava enchanted by Urvashi. So he got enchanted with Urvashi, and then Urvashi just came to this earth because she was cursed by some demigods. And she was here for a long time, and then Indra was thinking, where's Urvashi? She's my favorite. Without her, the assembly looks ugly, Oh, it doesn't look as beautiful. So just again, he's always again engaged and arranges the Gandharvas to come and disrupt. Or like many other times. Is it Vashishta also meditating? And Indra sent an Apsara. So things repeated like this. So yeah, how can we not be like Indra? How can we, our pride gets smashed and then we do again and again. So just have to acknowledge and pray for that purification.
90% japa.
90% japa, yes.
How is the foolish chanting japa?
That's true.
Namachari, that's all connected to humility in japa, yes.
You cannot chant without humility.
Triada yes. So we've got the process, we've got the blessings and the path, and yes, we can also learn from bad examples. Bhagavatam has good and bad examples. So, yes, we are never. I have heard that the Bhagavatam has extreme examples, like unimaginable power, unimaginable mistakes, unimaginable blessings. It's full of the topmost of things, and that's so that people cannot say, "Oh, but my position is worse, or my position is better, or like it doesn't apply for me." Nobody can say that, Nobody has more position than Indra. Nobody has more, It's like, okay, if they did it, I can also do it. Like this, inspirational. Bhagavatam is so wonderful, and Bhagavatam is always alive. I was just looking at the Bhagavatam there at the altar the other day, and I was thinking, yes, the Bhagavatam is the manifestation of Krishna, and I really feel it. My spiritual master everybody I think told me to read Bhagavatam every single day, and that has really made an impact in my life. And you see that Bhagavatam, he's with you, living Bhagavatam. And it's amazing. I feel like I'm reading the Bhagavatam, and the situation that's happening is always like connected. It's like immediate. Everybody feels that. It's like the Bhagavatam, yes, he is alive. And he's talking to you all the time. Sanatana Goswami has beautiful prayers in the Bhagavatam. He says, "Oh Bhagavatam, you're my best friend. You're my spiritual master, my guide, my everything, my treasure." It's such a personal relationship with the Bhagavatam. We were just thinking the other day, I think yesterday, we were talking about some ghosts or something happening in the castle. We should be careful with spirits. and I was like, wait a second. The verse tomorrow is about Lord Shiva, accompanied by all ghosts and all problems, And also it was Thursday, and we're thinking about Thursday is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter and Brihaspati are like the same. And see that Shiva took the side of Brihaspati, so the ghosts follow Brihaspati. It's like, maybe that's why Thursday has some problems, travel on Thursday. So just making connections. Like also this year, I was in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, and first time I was in Tirupati this year. The deity of Balaji is there. Because every January do a South India tour, preaching tour. So we were 1 week in Tirupati. And I was reading, at that time, just happened to be, I'm reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, or Chaitanya's tour through South India. And when I came to Tirupati, I was reading, Chaitanya arrived in Tirupati, Tirumala, and I was like, oh my God, Chaitanya's here, I'm here, So like this is beautiful. Bhagavatam is constantly, or even other times. Anybody would like to share any other time that you were reading Bhagavatam and related to your life? Did you remember? It's so special. I'm sure you remember. is it. Somehow I even write it down sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, this date has happened, so I don't forget. Yes. Like one time I was thinking, like, for example, how did I choose my spiritual master? His Holiness Sachinanda Maharaj. It was very interesting. I saw him first time, he came for the Kirtan Mela, and I was like, oh, who is he? Asked someone, oh, Sachinanda Maharaj. Oh, okay. Oh, never seen him before, okay. Just, keep like pretty neutral. I saw so many Maharajas already because I was there for 2 years already. And then Kirtan Mela started, day 1, day 2, day 3. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? This is real. It changed my whole conception of Kirtan and of chanting. I was like, this is amazing. Following the footsteps and directions of meditation and concentration. But what actually made me feel like, oh my God, this is my spiritual master, was on the 4th day. And that day, what happened is that by his mercy, I was just so focused, I felt like eternity kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, it disappeared. And then I couldn't focus anymore. And I became freaked out. I'm like, what's going on? It just felt so amazing right now. And I just like, okay, focus on the first Hare, pray like this, chant like this, and just try all the techniques possible. And I was just like, oh, it's not happening. Why, Krishna? I'm just here just to chant. I have no other desire. Please, please, please. But it wasn't happening. And I was like, oh, so disappointed. But it's okay. I just kept on chanting. And then I just looked at him because I'm feeling like by his instructions, I came to this position, this situation, very rare situation. And then I look back, and then he smiled, such a big smile, and he just kept on singing and singing. And I was so perplexed. I was like, this is smile was not from this world. I was overwhelmed. Like, he's so happy, like beyond anything. And then he chanted, and then I chanted on the same level again. I came to the eternity kind of thing, like the Maha Mantra and everything. I was like, wow. And I just jumped from him to me with no technique, nothing. I was like, oh, this is Guru Kripa, The mercy of Guru is like, it's not about your qualification, It's about mercy. So he gave that mercy, and I was looking at it, and I was like, is he my spiritual master? Like, is that it? But I haven't heard any lecture about him. I didn't know anything about him whatsoever. But at that moment, I just felt as my spiritual master. Because of that, a connection with Krishna. Just him being that connection with the Holy Name. And that smile was the most charming thing, And then, many other things happened. But the point I want to say related to the Bhagavatam is that just a few days later, I was reading the Bhagavatam. And then it says that pure devotees are so powerful, so wonderful, that they can conquer anyone, even simply by their smiling. And I was like, yes, exactly what happened. This is true. It's not just like some emotional thing, like he smiled, not like that. It was like a devotee's power, even by their smile, they can convince someone about Krishna, just like, yes, this is it. This is it. So, yes. Thank you for your time. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,